Welcome to the Experience Gap, the Insight Shop to the rescue, where we turn standout customer moments into playbooks for businesses. Each week, we bring you real stories of experiences that delight customers, highlight the moments that matter most, and equip businesses with strategies to consistently wow the people they serve. I'm Kate Complin, the owner of the Insight Shop. I created this podcast to give customers a voice to share not just their frustrations, but also the experiences that went wonderfully well, in hopes that companies will listen, learn, and take action. Your customers are your most important asset, and their positive stories hold the blueprint for better experiences. Joining me today is Steve Dennis, a veteran C-suite retail executive, having served as the Chief Strategy and Innovation Officer and head of omni-channel initiatives at 2 Fortune 500 retailers. For more than 15 years, as a strategy consultant, board member, and keynote speaker, he's been helping retail organizations navigate the choppy waters of disruption. He currently hosts retail's top strategy podcast and is the best-selling author of 2 books, Remarkable Retail and Leaders Leap. Steve, it's great to have you on my podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Steve, tell the audience about your positive experience using the Starbucks app. What really impressed you? What happened, and how did it make you feel as a customer?
I've been pointing to the Starbucks app as one of those good examples of how to design great customer experiences. The first thing I would say is just understanding that so many customer experiences start in a digital channel or in particular on a mobile device. So it seems very responsive to the way consumer behavior has been evolving. I think in particular how they have thought through every step of the customer journey and find a way to address it. In my case, I actually don't go to Starbucks all that much, but I happen to go to a standing meeting just about every week. So I stop at the Starbucks on the way. The ability to order ahead and have it ready when I get there, the ability to simply check the menu items, to reorder. I'm a little bit boring. I tend to get the same thing every time, so it's super easy for me to add things to the cart. Add a tip if I want a tip. Use my loyalty reward points to offset the cost. Reload money on my card on Starbucks. It seems like, every aspect of it has been thought out and addressed in a very simple, easy to
Steve, were there points across the experience where something could have gone wrong, but they handled it so well that it actually reinforced your confidence in them?
The one that I've seen every once in a while is the order isn't ready. A couple of times that's happened. This particular Starbucks recognizes me, and which is also nice to be able to not make it just a digital technology experience, but also marry that kind of hybrid experience with the person. So to recognize me, realize that my order isn't ready, and then they gave me a free item, which I didn't expect, but it was nice to be personally recognized, to go beyond the technology, but at the same time to say, you're a regular customer, we screwed up, let's make something up to you, which is often a good way to build loyalty. I mean, everybody messes up, right? So when you mess it up, acknowledge it and see if you can do something special to make the customer feel a little bit better.
That's a good point. Steve, do you use other food or beverage apps? And if so, how do they compare to Starbucks?
I don't use a lot. I do use the DoorDash app a little bit. I have for clients or for just part of my research used other apps like the Ulta app, but that's not really built for me. I would say the ones that are the best, you can see how they've dissected every step of the customer journey and how they're either removed a pain point or they, what I like to call, amplify the wow. They provide something extra special. Sometimes that's recognizing you as a customer. Sometimes that's a personalized offer. I think Ulta is a good example of an app that does a great job of personalizing the experience. I don't see that quite as much in Starbucks. Not obviously personalized. It's more just remembers what I've done in the past and makes it easier, but it doesn't necessarily feel super tailored to me as an individual or as a particular type of customer.
What do you think Starbucks could think about or do differently as it relates to making the experience more engaging and more personalized for their customers?
I'm not sure how much of an opportunity there is to do better recommendation. They do straightforward stuff. If you just order coffee, how about a pastry? I'm not sure what that would look like. I think that application is mostly built for speed and mostly built for the loyalty program. So I'm not sure it's super relevant for them. Whereas I think when you think about a fashion brand or a makeup brand or something like that, where people have different skin types, prefer different types of offerings because there's a wider range of products available, Starbucks is fairly straightforward in terms of its offering. And I don't know that I would mess with the simplicity of it. Just give me the shortest path to getting done what I want to get done. But in other cases where my unique needs need to be addressed, that's more of an opportunity. And that's where Ulta and some other apps really shine.
Steve, if you were advising other companies based on this experience the Starbucks app provided, how would you describe the ideal playbook for getting this right?
I think there's three elements. One is recognizing how often we end up in a physical channel, how often the customer journey starts in a digital channel, in this particular case on a smart device, but not always. Being mindful that shopping experiences are very hybrid. The second thing is really dissect every step of that customer journey. Some are more important than others. They're not necessarily an opportunity for differentiation at every step of the customer journey, but using more human-centered design approach is very, very important. And the last one, as I said earlier, the lens I like to take is when you look at those steps in the customer journey, how do you be remarkable in the moments that matter? Sometimes that's being super speedy, taking the friction out. Other times it's not about taking the friction out, it's creating something more emotionally connecting or something that's so relevant that I'm okay with it taking a little bit longer because it pays off. When people say it's all about removing the friction, no, there's lots of great brands that have plenty of friction. It's when there are roadblocks or speed bumps, it pays off. Dissecting that every step of the way and seeing, okay, can I take a pain point out or can I kind of amplify the wow and do something really memorable, really remarkable in that moment?
You mentioned human-centered design. Tell the audience a little bit more around what you mean by that.
I'm hardly an expert in it, so I'll be careful not to make it sound like I really know what I'm talking about here. But I think it's really starting with understanding what's the ultimate thing that the customer is trying to do and getting behind the more transactional piece of it. I used to work in the luxury industry, and a lot of times there you could say, oh, I just need a handbag for this event I'm going to. My handbag broke and I need a new one. But the more a brand is emotionally connecting, there's more storytelling, getting behind ultimately what that customer is trying to do, which might be how it makes me feel, the kind of brand that either is beautiful, but I don't want to show off, or maybe I do care a lot about the logo. It's just digging deeper into how the customer approaches the purchase process at a higher level, and then starting to drill down to the more transactional pieces. It brings together left brain and right brain thinking. A lot of retailers or brands of any kind get so focused on converting traffic or selling one more thing in that particular moment, when really loyalty is often driven by becoming the brand of choice in the first place, which is a set of a bunch of things. Human-centered design just brings in a little bit more of that emotional content and a little bit bigger picture thinking and gets at some of the root causes rather than just, I want to convert this traffic. I want to sell a pastry with the coffee.
Steve, what are the one or two things you tell leaders they must do to create an experience like the one you had with the Starbucks app?
One is, it's so cliche, I hate to say it, but people often I find miss it, is really start with the customer, but also treat different customers differently. Even some brands that are great at customer research and have some sort of segmentation, they don't necessarily realize that different customers often act differently depending upon the situation. We care deeply about price in some cases, in other cases not so much. We care deeply about convenience in some cases, but other cases not so much. So understanding that different customers prefer different things, but also the same customer may behave a little bit differently depending upon the context they're in or the type of product they're going after. I think that just puts more premium on deep customer insight and then trying to apply that level of thinking to how you design a customer experience.
Those are great thoughts, Steve. I'll leave you with this. According to Greek Wire, mobile ordering is now a huge slice of Starbucks U.S. transactions. Starbucks has reported mobile order and pay surpassing 30% of U.S. store transactions. A strong indicator that the app isn't a nice-to-have, it's a core operating channel. In Starbucks Q1 FY 2025 results, the company reported 34.6 million U.S. Starbucks Rewards 90-day active members. That's an enormous base of customers regularly engaging through the digital ecosystem. So both of these points, Steve, point to why this is occurring, because the app is easy to use, it's intuitive, and it gets you, your drink mostly on time so you can get on your way.
Yeah.
Insight InTouch Insights found that pickup is a make or break moment. When brands earned a fully satisfied rating, specifically on the pickup portion of the digital order experience, overall satisfaction was 34% higher. And of course, Steve, when you throw in the extra touches of a free item when it's not on time, that also can impact satisfaction. The basics still break the experience. In the ACSI Restaurant and Food Delivery Study of 2025, customers rate ease of ordering at 80 of 100, but order accuracy and accuracy of quoted delivery time sits at 75 of 100 and food temperature at 74 out of 100. So there is still a clear ordering is easier than fulfillment gap that exists. Thank you, Steve, for sharing your story about your experience about why you love to use the Starbucks app, the moments that matter to you, and your blueprint for how more companies can create experiences like this. Don't let your app experience be venti complicated. Make it easy, fast, and craveable. And if you want help brewing an app experience customers come back for, the Insight Shop is ready. And thanks to our listeners for tuning into the Experience Gap, the Insight Shop to the rescue, helping businesses turn great experiences into everyday reality, one story at a time.